Welcome back to the Dragon's Lair, everybody. My name is Wade, and this is my show, Let's Talk. And we're talking about Tyranids in Warhammer 40k. Those are my dogs. So, anyways, by the time I'm done, I'm going to have a video for every unit and every detachment in the Codex. And we're actually right at the end of that endeavor. And we're kind of in the stuff that I don't use and the stuff that I don't like. I'm not going to lie to you. We're in the stuff that I don't like. But I'm going to be positive, and I'm going to try to think positively. I did just come out of playing an RTT, and that's competitive play is not the end all be all, but it definitely puts perspective, gives you perspective on what you think is good and what is useful against other people. Because come on, you're fighting. This is a game where toy soldiers fight other toy soldiers, so you want things to work out for you and you want things to be good. So, anyways, so we're gonna talk Raveners today. And to be completely honest with you, I was not completely up on the modern Ravener. And there are some interesting things here. I still wouldn't take them in a list, and that's for reasons. So let's talk about it. um, Raveners, move 10. That's good. I like that a lot. They're infantry, so they're going to go through buildings and ruins and stuff like that. That's actually good. Tough 5. That's good. That's like Terminator tough. So, you know what? In the moment, I'm starting to change my opinion a little bit. Save 5 plus. Trash. They're going to get murdered. They're just straight up going to get murdered. And that right there is probably the big sinker, at least the first big sinker. um, every okay, your melt-a-guns. If your opponent is anything worth their salt, they're gonna have guys with melt-a-guns. They're gonna have guys in units with melt-a-guns. They're gonna have all the stuff that they need. The AP, and it doesn't matter what army they are. You should be bringing your high AP stuff to the table, because if you're not, are you trying to do well? Are you trying to win? And that's what I mean by good. I'm not like, it's not a moral call. It's a what is effective in the game. So the 5 plus save, you're going to wind up having no save a lot, and then units will just die. And that's, I really don't like that. That's gross. And I know that because of that point of view that I have and that standpoint that I have, I tend to rely on a lot of monsters, things that start off with 2 plus saves. I love things that start off with 2 plus saves and then have a 4 plus invulnerable, or just have a 4 plus invulnerable. So, I mean, I'm talking about Maleceptors, Emissaries, Zonothropes. The Zonothropes have a crappy regular save, but they got that 4 plus invulnerable. And pretty much everything becomes an invulnerable when it comes to Zonothropes, but whatever. Anyways, I don't like that because you're gonna lose units quick, and easily. 3 wounds. That's not bad, but it's not great. So I still struggle with the 3 wounds. Leadership 8, that's pretty standard. Hopefully you got him in Synops. Objective Control 1, not great, especially because of their base size. So you can fit less of them onto an objective, and then their objective control is smaller. So I mean, I would rather go with Gaunts in that case. um, Ranged weapons, thoracic bioweapon. It's got assault, which is good. Move, advance, and shoot. 12 inches, that's not terrible, but at the same time, with moving 10, you can pretty much get within there. 3 attacks apiece. So they start off as a 3-man. You can take them up to a 6-man. That's only 9 attacks at ballistic skill 4, so it's the bad side of average. So you're talking like 4, maybe 3 hits. And here's where it starts to fall apart. Strength 4. You're barely gonna you're gonna have a small amount of hits. You're gonna have a small amount of wounds, and then AP 0. So then most everything is going to be able to resist it, and then 1 damage. So you can't count on it. Melee weapons, Ravener claws and talons, twin linked. which is pretty good. That's not lie. All right, 7 attacks. We're coming back. We're getting some value back here. So you're talking about 21 attacks if all three get there. Um, Weapon skill 3, which is better. So you're talking about the high side of average, so like 10, 11 hits. Strength 5, if you're within Synops, which is going to be a little bit hard because they move so fast. But remember, Neurotyrant is great at this because anything within 18 inches of them, they can just make them within Synops. It happens in the command phase, though, so plan ahead, everybody. So you could get up to Strength 6, which is a breaking point only for guardsmen, maybe Tau Fire Warriors, no longer for orcs, maybe Aspect Warriors. I don't know Aspect Warriors that well, so I don't know their toughness. What it will get you is it will get you wounding on a 3+ on Terminators. So, yeah. So, elites, because you're up to 6. No, so, yeah. No, yeah, 3. Anyways, AP1, it's not great, but it's way better than 0, 1 damage. So once again, here's kind of the flaw of the Ravener. Decent amount of attacks. You might put 11 hits on. You might wound 5 times, and then like 2 might go through. So then you put 2 damage on what? That kills 1 Space Marine. That won't even kill a Terminator. So there are other things. So this is kind of the crux of my argument why I don't like things. There are other things that you can be taking that will do more. And I know I keep on talking about it, but like I said, I just went to an RTT. I took 40 gaunts, and those 40 gaunts did a ton of work. A ton of work. And obviously it's a game of chance. There's dice, and your opponent will make bad moves, and you'll get a upper hand, and maybe you have a stratagem that gives you rerolls to hits. There's all sorts of things that you can do to increase your likelihood of success. But if your unit starts off as not a very effective unit, you're kind of starting with a problem. And no matter how much goodwill you dump into it, if it's ballistic skill or weapon skill sucks, its strength sucks, and its AP sucks, you're not going to succeed. And if all three of those things are good, like on a Norn Emissary or on a Maliceptor, for example, if all three of those things are good, much, 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 much more worth your while. um, it'll do better competitively, but also it'll perform better in a casual, fun game because even though you might be really cool and really laid back, and I hope you are, and maybe you might be a really good sport, and I hope you are, because you should be, you still want to do well. Nobody puts this much money into a game and as much time into assembling and painting to show up and be tabled for 20 years like I was. Straight up, I was tabled all the time for 20 years because I sucked at the game. And it's only in the last 4 years, maybe, that the middle of ninth, I'll say the middle of ninth, did I pull my head out of my butt and try really hard to become a better player. And now I'm at about a 50% win chance. However, my friends, Colin and Justin, who are great players, they were once on a team and they took like 2,000 points apiece and I took 4,000 points and I beat them. It was one of those things where literally I won by like 2 points, but still, I was very proud of myself that day. It was a very long slog to get there. um, they've got Deep Strike, which is super worth it. Maybe they could be that unit that gets in the back line and messes things up. But you got to remember their base size is big, and in tournament play, most people are really good at screening their back line, anyways. You can get rid of the thoracic assault weapon for more armor, but it sucks. It's only a 4+, so not worth it. What's interesting is you do have some uppy downy, is what it's called. Death from below at the end of your opponent's turn. This unit is not within engagement range, one or more enemy units. You can remove it from the battlefield and place it into strategic reserve. Maybe that's something. Maybe. But adding it up, I really don't like Raveners. I'm not going to use them anytime soon. Let me know how you feel about Raveners down in the comments. We here at the Dragon's Lair want to say thank you for spending your time here with us at the Dragon's Lair.